Hello and welcome to the Master of Unlocking Sony E3 Showcase was what that was called. I believe that was what it was called. That's what, God, I forgot his name already. What's the guy's name that comes out on stage?
Jack Tretton.
It's 5 years ago.
I wish it was Jack Tretton.
I forgot his name already. I can picture him. Short little dude.
His name's Sean?
Sean
Layden.
Hayden
Panettiere. Sean.
Yeah. Either way, we are coming at you live from the back alley of Mel's Tacos.
Mel's is closed.
Mel's is closed now.
You ate there twice today.
I did. It has not been a pleasant afternoon.
I think we have kept Mel's Tacos in business for another year.
I think so.
Yep.
All right. Mel's
Thank
Tacos.
God there's those porta potties. There's that development around the corner.
Well,
Thank God. Those union guys need those porta potties.
This is what happens when you get a sponsorship. He gave us... all we had to do was mention his name a few times, and he gave us free food for all of E3. Thank you, Mel.
We're still not sure if it's still Mel Gibson or
I
not,
still
right?
don't know. He's a haggard-looking fella, but he makes some damn good tacos.
I'll make you a taco. And I will!
So, Sony.
So like D-, D.
We're not
we're giving grades?
We're not grading anything.
We're giving grades.
No.
I give it a hard
I'm
S.
joking.
Capital
right.
S
It
for
was-
Sony.
It was pretty awesome.
It's good.
Okay.
I thought it was
So, yeah, well, let's, we started off with an orchestra again, so this must just be
Not really an orchestra, but like
it was
an
like
Indian
live
band.
music.
It was weird.
It was live music
Yeah.
again, so.
Some bongos, right?
Yeah. So it's the second straight E3, so maybe this will be a Sony tradition. No?
I do like the size of their stage. It was still... Is it the same theater as last year?
It's,
No
yeah,
idea.
I think it was the same theater as last year.
Is the Orpheum?
I don't know.
Well, you were there 2 years in
Yeah.
a row, don't you remember?
Yeah, well, if I hadn't been in the porta potty from Mel's, then maybe I would have made it in on time.
I don't know where exactly I walked into there today, but...
I really enjoy the spectacle. I do enjoy
Yeah.
that they go for it. Whether or not some people enjoy that or not, or feel like it's necessary. There was the part where the guys were hanging, like the Cirque du Soleil guys were hanging, and there's screens on top of screens, and
Yeah.
I think that I really like that they go for it.
Yeah, they go big Microsoft goes big with their big stage and their kind of whole set, where Sony goes big with this just kind of cinematic
Yeah.
type approach. And so they're two different styles, but they both work for what they're doing. But the first game we saw was Uncharted, the Lost Legacy.
Yeah, that is correct.
So that is a sub-story of one of the characters from Uncharted 4, and don't ask me her name because we didn't have audio.
Chloe.
No, not Chloe, was it?
Isn't it Chloe?
Yeah, that's
From
Chloe.
Uncharted 2?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, the Dark-haired girl's Chloe?
and Nadine.
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 Nadine was the name I was trying to come up with. Okay. So, yeah, so Nadine from Uncharted 4. We had no audio.
Yeah, it was
since-
really weird. In the theater, the audio just... I'm not even going to try to cover
Right.
this anymore. We weren't there.
Yeah.
If there was any doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. Anywho, there were some audio issues the first 5 or 10 minutes of the Sony press conference.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and watch those first couple things again.
Yeah, I'd like to go back and kind of see what that was all about. We didn't get any audio from that. It looked good. It'll be interesting playing an Uncharted game, Sans Drake, Nathan Drake.
Sans Nathan.
Yes, so, but I will definitely check it out because I like Uncharted.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yep.
I guess if we're ready to segue, then Horizon.
The Horizon DLC, which, again, we didn't have audio, and we were kind of trying to find a place that did have audio, so I didn't see if there was a date on that DLC at all. The Uncharted thing is coming out this year.
Yeah.
Did we have a date for that?
I think it was August or September. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Early fall.
It's early fall, but I didn't see anything on the Horizon DLC. It looked nice. I'll say that. It's a nice snowy world.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more than happy to go back to that world for a little bit, even if it's just for a couple hours.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't own the game anymore, so...
Ooh, I do. So I guess you can always borrow
Yeah.
mine. I decided to keep it, so...
Well, sometimes some of the DLC recently has been standalone as well, so maybe it'll just be...
Was
That could be.
Infamous that way, right?
Yeah,
Was it?
Infamous was... There was something else that you just announced at another conference that I was surprised was standalone, and I can't remember what it was.
I wonder, depending on what assets they're using, about whether it's going to be standalone. I mean, it looked like with Horizon, it was snow, which there wasn't really much snow in Horizon. There was a small area that had some snow, but nothing like a huge expanse that... But not saying they just couldn't put a weather effect on it and see how it's going. But
the point I was making with the segue was I thought it was interesting that they led with I wouldn't call it's not fair to call Lost Legacy DLC, but I don't know. Does it feel like a full?
I think that line is just completely blurred now, so it's hard to.
Okay,
I guess
it feels like an attachment to me and not its own thing. But they're probably going to sell it as like a $60 its own thing.
I don't think it'll be $60, but I'll bet it'll be.
Have they said that it is then a more brief experience than a full Uncharted?
I don't know if they've said much of anything.
I don't know. They kind of talked about a more PlayStation experience, but that was back in December, and I really don't remember at this point.
So I think what we know about the trend, maybe the past 5-6 years, things like, is ODST maybe a good example?
ODST was still that was still what, 10 hours?
It felt kind of not like a proper Halo, but they charged $60 for it, didn't they?
Yeah, but it was a full game. It was definitely a full game.
As long as I'm gonna get 10 hours of content out of it.
Game, then maybe
I would guess, and this is just pure speculation, but I'm gonna guess that Lost Legacy is like $40, and it's a standalone game.
You think it
How many hours?
I think it'll be less than 10.
6 to 8, probably.
Something like that.
You think it goes full retail or digital only?
Retail.
Both.
Yeah.
Sony's keeps that retail thing out there. I feel like they don't do a lot of digital only stuff.
Well, they were used games rentals. I mean, that's kind of the way they started this era.
It was, I don't want to jump to a different press conference, but the Dishonored DLC is standalone. It is its own disc and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We could talk more about that later, because I want to pick your brain about that, actually.
Okay. Next, Days Gone was there. I will say that they showed a completely different game this year than what they showed last year, and I like this game better. This is... It actually kind of reminds me more of almost like an outdoor Last of Us.
I was just going to say... My only concern is that it looked a lot like The Last of Us.
It always has.
Really? You thought last year it did?
Oh, last year it didn't look like The Last of Us? Last year was like a third person...
I think it's always been too similar to... And I'm very excited about Days Gone. I might be the highest one in here on it, for the record. But I think its theme and its plot, no matter how unique they can make it, it's always been... too close to The Last of Us. Like, we're going back to the apocalypse.
That's what
we're going back to infected / zombies.
Right.
I was worried about that last year.
I don't know if I'm ready for another sneak around zombies game.
Yeah, I guess if
you're going to play it, it seems like what it is. There was a really unique moment where he used the zombies as a weapon.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen anything like that before?
No,
like using a horde of enemies to attack another group of enemies.
I mean, I've seen where you can kind of do that in games, but nothing to that extent of that many enemies going after something.
Like using a herd against a smaller herd. That was cool. That was neat.
It looked really nice.
Still looks nice.
And we had we went 3 straight games of hiding in foliage. Was that what it was? Was what we were talking about?
Yeah.
So it was like, hey, you can squat in some foliage there and you can hide. That's some good stuff right there.
Which was the next game that I've already forgot. Was that Monster Hunter?
Monster Hunter, yeah. So Monster Hunter is the 4th game that we kind of... I guess just back to Days Gone real quick. Did that have a date or was
I didn't see any date.
I didn't see a date on that one either.
But again, we were also trying to switch between stuff, so
that actually, I think that one was... We got audio for Days Gone.
I don't remember.
It came right in it to start with.
But I don't remember seeing a date.
I don't remember seeing a date either. I think it was
pretty
just kind of like...
unified on that. I don't think I saw
a date either. Monster Hunter was the next item on the list. Monster Hunter World. Sorry, that was... none of us are really too interested.
What was after that?
Yeah.
So Monster Hunter World
has always been... I tried to play the one that was on Wii, and it's too many hits required to take out enemies. I just don't like that. It's just you're just wailing on an enemy for like an hour before they die.
Are those games? They're hard, right? That's what they're saying.
Apparently, but it just seemed boring to me more than anything.
Okay. Next one, the Shadow of the Colossus remake. I know there's Caleb. You said you've played it multiple times.
Oh, probably at least 5.
It's one of my favorite games of all time, but I only played it once, and it's been 13 years ago, and I'm perfectly happy with playing this.
I think we played it together.
We played it together. We actually went back and forth on each boss. We played it in one of your old. We played it in your studio apartment.
Oh my god, my little cube.
Your cube, yeah.
It was a little underground square. It was my senior year in college. Or maybe, my super senior year.
Your super senior year, yeah. Let's get that correct here now.
Yeah, super senior.
So, we sat in there and played. I think we went back and forth. I think we were playing. Maybe one of us would play Halo 2 on your computer monitor, and then
that's what it was.
And I played that on the TV. So
the PS3 version looks good, but this looked way better. So I will play this again for sure.
And it's an epic game. It's above and beyond great. I'm glad they're remaking this in a proper way and not just kind of doing a little bit of enhanced graphics for the PS3 and going from there. So
I could not be more excited about that.
Yeah.
As far as the things we've seen so far,
and that's
pretty high.
And that's a 2018, right?
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't have a season, but it did say 2018. Yeah. So I'm perfectly happy with that. Yeah, I'm happy to see that's coming in.
And a nice surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Were you expecting
Did you see it?
I didn't expect it, but it leaked.
Did it leak?
Yeah,
I didn't know
yesterday or earlier today.
Oh, okay. I didn't see a leak.
I was surprised.
I was genuinely surprised too.
It was that, and then like the VR games. I don't want to get ahead of us, but their titles pretty much all leaked beforehand.
They do a rehearsal.
I don't know where it came from, but I think it might have been a trademark thing. They registered a bunch of trademarks like today, so that was a little.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Sometimes that stuff always been
hard to protect for that.
Right?
Yeah, you do. That's like public info.
A retail
right
shop gets some info on something like, hey, you can publish this for pre-order after this time, and then of course the web developer that's going to put it up there is like, hey, I can make $10 real quick or whatever if I try to leak this out or something real dumb. But next one, which was kind of an interesting transition, we went from Shadow of the Colossus, this graphical powerhouse, to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which it's a fighting game, whatever, but boy, the graphics still looks like shit. Like they didn't look that great, but I'm more impressed with the weird coordination of the Marvel and Capcom stories.
Well, I wouldn't say impressed yet.
I wouldn't say impressed, but
intrigued.
That they're trying it. Yeah. And a story demo is out today or tomorrow or something. Today. Yeah.
Said,
there's a demo to play, so that'll be interesting to go check out. And that's September 29th.
Yeah, that's like one of the only things that was this year.
Yeah, there was 3 things for this year: the Marvel vs. Capcom, the Uncharted Lost Legacy, and 2 other games. We'll get to later, but they're third party. Anything else on Marvel vs. Capcom?
I wish I would have seen actual gameplay.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
But if the demo's out, we can just go look. We can play it for ourselves.
You can see that for yourself.
Yeah, that's kind of a good thing. Yeah, I was like, here, go play it yourself. Sure. And I've played all the Marvel vs. Capcom, just screwed around with them. Never competitively by any means. I just play through the story mode real quick and have a little fun with it.
They had story modes in the past?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
they were like an arcade mode, but that's
like a ladder.
Yeah, it's like a ladder. I shouldn't say a story mode because there was no real story. Yeah, you're right, but I guess arcade mode. That's just kind of like here, do 10 fights and fight a boss, and it's the end of the game. There's really nothing special. You don't get any endings. I don't believe. Next was the VR extravaganza. Anything anybody wants to say about VR?
Nothing in there sold me on a VR.
No, the inpatient looked maybe something interesting, but at the same time, it's just another one of those experiences.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought. It looked more like an experience than a game, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm so tired of seeing Skyrim. Can we please not have Skyrim anymore for a couple of years?
It's gonna go on forever. All right. Then we get into the big guy, God of War. Kratos has a battle axe.
That might be the game out of everything that I'm most excited about. Out of everything every day of press conferences. I think that might be the thing I'm most excited about.
We're done, right? That was it.
Well, Nintendo has their thing, but it's not really a
So we're done.
conference.
No, I'm kidding.
Right.
I'm kidding. When is that?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
It's a half hour long.
And is it's basically a treehouse?
No, the treehouse will be afterwards.
So it is an E3 thing.
They usually do like a weird skit thing. It's weird.
And
I remember that.
Yeah, they'll have the Mario game to show off.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah. That'll probably be they'll probably hit Mario. They'll hit on Splatoon coming out in a few weeks, and there might be one surprise probably since they did that Pokemon event last week. There's probably not much else to really go through, especially in a half hour. But yeah, God of War. Back to God of War. His kid's like crawling on his back and stuff.
Okay, the thing that I'm really curious about was like the kid understood there was that giant snake thing, and it started talking to them, and the kid understood the language. And Kratos did not. So I'm like, who is this kid and where did he come from?
He says he's his kid.
Was that...
Did he? He never actually says that, does he?
No,
the woman
said
did.
It. The woman... You remember the part where
did they?
So the boy is like laying down and the woman is talking to Kratos about he needs to take care of his
he's your son.
Yeah.
Okay.
She very specifically says like, he's your son. You're his father.
But still,
he needs you.
That doesn't necessarily mean he's a biological father, or it doesn't even mean that he's raised him, right?
Well, I don't know.
So
I would assume they're going after Bio Dad there.
The definition of father is a...
But I don't know.
So I just want to know where this kid came from and why he knows these things.
I was thinking that he is a hybrid of a human and a god.
Yeah.
I thought
Isn't Kratos a hybrid of a human and a god?
No, Kratos is a human.
He's full...
That became a god.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Because he dies and then comes back as the god of war.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, after he defeated Ares. Okay. Yeah.
That's the first game, right, where he becomes the god of war.
Right,
It's confusing. Regardless.
So, yeah, I think that old man Kratos, I don't know, unless he didn't mate with a human, then I don't know. But I thought that the whole catch with the kid was that he is partially human, but that doesn't answer why he understands a giant serpent.
Who raised this kid, or like where did?
And who's the woman? Was the woman the boy's father or mother? Sorry, mother. Was that the kid's mother?
No idea.
I don't know.
The Aloy Dread looking woman, the Heavenly Sword looking woman.
They all got that look.
They all look the same.
Sony Interactive loves that look.
I don't remember her name now.
What, Heavenly Sword?
In Heavenly Sword. Wasn't it like Nanak? I don't know.
Oh,
good.
boy.
If you can do it, good for you.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Good for you if you can do it.
It was an alright game, Heavenly Sword.
It was one of those early, I got a PS3, I gotta play something.
It was alright.
I liked that game a lot.
Yeah, I played it. I mean, I played through it, but then I don't remember much about it.
I haven't really thought about a ranking of games for the show so far. It's probably, I don't know, top 3 or 4 for me.
God of War.
Yeah, I would have to think of everything just to make sure, but it's definitely up there.
Nariko.
Okay.
I think. Either that or that's the sister, but whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, fine.
All right. Call of Duty WW2. Because that's just what it says.
I thought you were going to say WWE.
No.
And that would be a really cool game.
That would be interesting. No, but that it's a Call of Duty.
My God, it's Hitler! It's Hitler! He's here! He's here!
Oh, I was going the other way around. Like, we're going to give Hulk Hogan a gun and see what he does.
Sure, that's fine.
You could go either way. It's like Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Okay, it's like, which way do you want to go?
I am a real American.
Yep.
All right. That's a Call of Duty-esque Call of Duty.
I'm in. Like I said, I said it before, but they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to have a royal fuck up for me to stop playing Call of Duty.
It looks really nice, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if it was going to come back around to its roots, at least wise, we've made a pretty significant jump in fidelity.
Yes, I will say I feel like we are the minority of Call of Duty players, though, because we play the campaign, don't touch the multiplayer, and then get rid of it.
Yeah.
And there's a vast amount of people who play the multiplayer and don't touch the campaign. So I think we're in this weird minority that
I don't care
actually
about them.
enjoys
I care about me.
I know, I'm just saying that, like, when you're saying, like, oh, I play Call of Duty all the time, it's like, let's clarify the three of us and what we are in Call of Duty, because I maybe play 2 deathmatch games before I get rid of it, but that's about it. I don't know about Jason. Did you play? I don't even actually in Infinite. I don't even think I played a multiplayer match.
I certainly did not.
Played Advanced Warfare.
I don't know if I've ever played a multiplayer Call of Duty match.
Wow.
And I think I've played everyone back to 4.
Not even Modern Warfare 1 or 2?
Not even one match.
Yeah, definitely minority on that one.
Oh,
then.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's just the thing. I mean, because, there's... The thing is, those campaigns are good.
Yeah.
And people just ignore them, and it's sad. Like, it really is. So
I'm surprised that you haven't played them at all. They were... I don't want to get too far off topic, but, like, what Modern Warfare did for every multiplayer shooter after it. Man, like, there are plenty of games that owe their, not success, but their structure to Modern Warfare. It's pretty awesome at the time. But, yeah, I don't know how much we are like everyone else, and it seems like COD is judged on its multiplayer primarily.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what defines whether or not it's a successful one down the road. They make one every year between 3 studios, so
yeah. I mean,
they all aren't gonna hit.
Yeah, and there's been talk that there's been talk that they don't even make a story mode before, that they just go multiplayer. So the fact they're still making good story modes, and
we don't buy them.
Yeah, we wouldn't buy them.
Right?
No.
So
next one down, Detroit. Whatever, Almost Human.
Jason, go.
You want me to go?
Become human first.
Become human. Almost human. Become human. Yeah.
Yeah. This is all you. This is all you.
I'll play. I know. I'm in on it. I mean, we're. I would say you're the bigger David Cage fan. I'm somewhere in the middle, and
well, I'll play it for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying I have no strong opinions.
Really?
I'm sure that you do.
So. Oh wow, you can tell. I thought it showed way better last year.
Me too.
I was way more excited for it last year, where they actually showed you the investigative pieces of it, the android. It was like an android detective, right?
Yeah.
Investigating that scene, and then they're making choices that then ultimately decide whether or not that android who's turned on his family is going to
live, die. He's got the child, right? He's got the family's kid under duress, and that was way more compelling than what they showed tonight.
I thought it was a little strange that, and this happened on God of War too, but it's weird that last year they showed vertical slices of these games, and this year they showed more of trailer montage gameplay.
Yeah.
Which is a little...
Yeah.
You'd think that would be reversed.
Well, and you almost saw two different games, and it goes back to even Days Gone. I felt like I saw 2 different games.
Yeah.
I mean, just it was the style of gameplay, because like you just brought up the investigative piece. There was nothing investigative going on there. I don't even know if we really saw much gameplay out of Detroit this time. But at the same time, when you go back and look at like Heavy Rain, you had multiple characters. So maybe that's what this is going to be. Maybe there's going to be a detective character. Maybe there's going to be this leader of the android revolution character. And
it's a pretty safe assumption, I think.
Well, actually, I don't know, because Beyond, you're following Ellen Page the whole time.
You're not James Woods at all?
James Woods was not in the game.
Oh, sorry, I confused him with.
What is that guy's name?
He was in Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, he was Osborn in Spider-Man. Oh God,
James Franco.
No,
that's it. James, I confuse. I can picture him.
James
Willem
Woods.
Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Sorry,
yeah, there I was.
No, you don't play as William. No.
William.
You do not
Dafoe.
play as Willem Dafoe. You play as Ellen Page exclusively.
You never do, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering everything correctly.
Well,
I really like. I love Heavy Rain. I love Indigo Prophecy. And I think Beyond is
bad.
It's not great.
I was good with it for like 75% of the game. I was like, this is decent, and then the ending I thought
it really
was
gets
just,
wacky at the
I
end.
thought it was awful.
It really gets tacky at the end. It's nice to know that he's grounded himself a little bit, because there's not really, we've got androids, but we're not really talking about supernatural powers in Detroit, right? So at least wise, he can't go as nuts as he did in Beyond.
Still some futuristic stuff. Like there was those drone things flying around.
Yeah, but it's all believable, right?
That's
that could
true.
actually
It's all tech, I guess.
Yeah,
it's tech believable.
I don't believe in the ghost thing from Beyond, but I could see a drone.
Yeah.
Sure. I wish it had showed better tonight. Is all I say. I know I'm repeating myself.
No, I agree with you too. I think it could have showed better. There was something about it that just didn't grab me like last year's did.
Yeah.
And that's not a good sign for a game that, well, again, didn't have a date.
Right. The one thing I did like, and I hope this is actually part of the game, is when they showed the whole flowchart, like the sideways flowchart.
And they showed that last year too.
I really hope that's in the game, and then you can okay, let me load a save, go back to this point on there, and then make the other decision. Because I was, in Heavy Rain, I was like, well, I could go back and try to do a different path, but I don't know which thing is going to put me on the other path. I don't want to replay it and then have me go down the same.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like you didn't know which.
Yeah.
For the most part, it was semi, handholdy, but there were a couple answers to questions sometimes that took you down a different path that you may not have known. But yeah, this one, it does if it would pop out and kind of be like, all right, here's your 3 options, and like you can kind of see a mini preview of like each one of them. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's just for the game trailer or if that is in the real game. But they did show that last year too.
I hope that's in.
It was that same kind of flowchart looking thing. So, but then again, it was like, I think they did that last year and it was like, all right, here's this flowchart thing, Detroit. Like, it was like, the big splash screen of what it was. So, I don't know.
I think that studio is very capable of making a game that makes you feel things legitimately.
Yeah, Heavy Rain. Fuck me.
Yeah, and Indigo Prophecy, I think, did a really nice job of that too. You really cared about those characters. You cared about the outcome.
Up until the point where they sleep together for no reason.
Yeah, every good story has a sex scene, Caleb. Okay?
Heavy Rain had a sex scene.
Yeah, but that one at least made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as it's contained, but if it jumps the shark the way Beyond did, then you stop caring because it just goes beyond ridiculous.
Was there a sex scene in Beyond? I didn't play Beyond.
No, because she was a high school student.
Okay.
So that wouldn't have made much sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Beyond was rated M, though, wasn't it? Though?
I don't remember.
I feel like it might have been rated T, even. Because those other games have, like, some mature language and some gore and blood and some violence in them and stuff. But I don't remember that from Beyond. I'm pulling for it. We'll see.
Oh, yeah, me too. I'm pulling for it, too. I'm pulling that it releases at some point as well. Next one on the list, Destiny 2 gets the Sony treatment. They get some extra strikes and stuff like they did last time.
That's this year?
Yeah, that's September 6th.
That's not an exclusive, but it's
no, but they get those strikes first and maybe a raid or so. That's kind of what they've done in the past. That looks all right. I'm actually excited to try out Destiny 2. After Destiny 1 just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. It was like, all right, I got to level 20. Now I'm not a loot person. I don't want to go look around for loot for 10 hours. I just don't care. So, and there's no grimoire cards. There's actually a full-fledged story this time. So I'm in. I'll check it out. Maybe I'll actually even do a raid this time, but hopefully I don't have to get my light level up to a certain degree or whatever to do it. That doesn't sound very exciting. And I think they actually put matchmaking in for raids this year. So there were last year you had to find a group of 6, and if you couldn't find a group of 6, well, sorry.
Yeah.
So
I've forgotten that.
Yeah.
But then again, do you really want to play a raid with a bunch of random people? I wouldn't.
And probably not, but I guess at the same time, if you don't know 5 other people that own that console that are playing that at the same exact time you are, I don't know 5 other people that are going to play that same exact game on that same exact console at the same time I am.
Yeah. I just feel like from the way I never played any of the raids, but from the way people described the raids, they actually do require you to communicate.
They do.
I don't think that would happen with randoms, but
it wouldn't. Well, depending on who you got as your random, it may not be pleasant.
Yeah,
I guess that's the thing.
I don't know if I'm gonna play that or not. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, I don't know either. Or I just I don't know if I'll get that far in a raid, but I'm gonna play the single player. I'll give it a shot. Because the shooting in that game was one of the best.
That's true.
It was one of the best shooters I've feel wise of shooting something felt great. The rest of the game sucked absolute ass, but as a shooter, that was the tightest feeling thing of an assault rifle I've felt. But that's because Bungie made it.
Mm-hmm.
I was really curious, Caleb, if you're gonna play it or not.
I was so burned by the last one. I hated that game.
Yeah, I understand why, because it was pitched to you as something else, and then it wasn't.
It was not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
and that's my fault too.
I think I know a lot of people that bought it day one, and what's interesting is, let me ask you guys this: do you think it's going to serve? Which master do you think it will serve? Do you think it will serve the person that is disappointed in Destiny 1 first? Or will it serve its base that enjoys grinding for loot and just partying up and collecting loot and doing the same thing? And what master will it serve? Because I don't know if it can do both.
I don't know. I wonder if there is a blend that it can get to.
You think they can do both?
If they could deliver a solid single player story that could get you to, like where it got. I mean, it pretty much got me to a level 20 last time,
which is where end game started, right?
Which is where the end game stuff started. The other part just didn't interest me. But if they can give me a solid single player campaign that I'm interested in, and maybe a little bit of extra, maybe give me one raid that I can do at the end of. Legitimately do at the end of playing a single player campaign and not having to grind a whole lot, and have it be like a mini raid, even I guess that's called a strike, but that I would be a little more interested in. But if you're going to ask me to put 5 to 6 more hours, and that's probably being generous about how to get to the next level of a raid, that I'm not interested in. But they did a lot of work post-launch, it sounded like, with the DLC later on, like with I forget what they're called, but they were basically being like, oh, you want this DLC and your light level's not up to this? We're just going to give you this stuff. Or they're going to they gave you like light or armor that moved your light like all the way up just by purchasing the DLC. So that was kind of a weird fan service thing that they figured out a little bit later to try to get people to come back to buy the DLC. But I hope they kind of think about that a little more on the front end of it this time, but still put enough in there that people will be willing to grind out some things. I don't know if there's probably a balance somewhere there. I just don't know if they'll find it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Taken King. That was what the DLC was called.
I don't know if I'm as excited about it as you are. I see potential there, but I'm probably more in your camp of
Too burnt.
I want to see what people are saying before I jump in.
I won't make it. I won't make time for it with other stuff compared in the fall unless I feel like
I'm not going to blindly purchase it day one like I did.
Yeah, and we all three bought it day one.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, all right. Last game would be Spider-Man. That looks real good. Spider-Man looks. It's Batman with Spider-Man. Is kind of the way I would describe it.
There were a lot of QTEs, but that's okay. I'm okay with
that. The style of QTEs that they did, you couldn't do that type of sequence without a QTE. So if you're going to make those type of epic sequences, you have to do a QTE because you'd never be able to do that in a way within normal gameplay to make it work.
Unless you just make it a cutscene, which is boring.
And so I'm fine with the way they did it, and the combat of it seemed like it was a little bit of half stealth, half get into it with some guys, and they had guns and kind of the same type of thing with Batman. You run into guys with guns, you got to be real careful because you're not invulnerable to that stuff. So the way that kind of slowed down time a little bit, you kind of floated through some of that stuff. It looked like you could use a lot of environmental pieces of it. I saw like, it was like L1 to grab a barrel and bring it back, and the environmental kills type stuff. I should say kills because they're knockouts. But it was really good. I think it looks really good the way it went in and out of stuff. The
biggest question, will it have Riddler trophies?
It will have...
it will be open world, right? I mean,
you would think, yeah. It'll have pumpkins.
Saw a really structured demo today.
Okay, sure.
Hobgoblin pumpkins.
Sure. Can we just have like 1,000 of them that I can go find?
Let's look at maybe 200.
Can you call up whoever's making this? And
Insomniac's making this, right?
Yeah, let's just call them up real quick and be like, yeah, let's do it.
So, yeah, I mean that. I think that game looks really good, and it's 2018. I thought that would I was really hoping that would release this summer along with the movie, but if they've got to put more polish on it, fine. Yeah. Don't make it a B. Yeah. Don't make it a movie B game. Make it a really solid superhero game like they did with the Batman franchise.
Yeah, I'm excited to play that, and I'll wait for it. That's fine. I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't really say they don't really have much of anything for 2017.
That's true of Microsoft though too.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of
third-party stuff.
A lot of third-party stuff. I mean, if we go back and even look, if we just look at the Sony press conference, we have Uncharted, Marvel vs. Capcom, Call of Duty World War II, and Destiny 2 are the only things coming out this year of a proper release. I'm not including VR. But yeah, you're just... Of first-party titles, you're really just looking at Uncharted.
Yeah.
The rest are all third-party.
I'm really surprised because yesterday, they Level 5 announced that Ni no Kuni 2, which is a PS4 exclusive game, is out this year, and they gave a date. It's November 10th, I think, something like that. Mm. So why, knowing that they had like very little for 2017 in their press conference, why didn't they show a short trailer for that and put a date at the end?
Well, and you even talked about too. You just looked it up. Knack 2 is coming out this year, and I mean, Knack sucks, but it's still first party and still coming out this year.
Right.
Give it a minute and a half. I mean, the press conference was an hour and 3 minutes long.
Right.
You can go another 10 minutes and throw some of these things in there. There was no indie stuff really either. It was all either VR stuff, and so I mean, you would think that there's got to be a few little smaller games that they can throw out there. They've always taken that time to give those games 10 minutes or so. I'm surprised they didn't do any of that this year. And traditionally we were talking, we're like, oh yeah, how long does this press conference go? We want to watch the finals. Like, it's traditionally a couple of hours. And then Layton comes out on the stage at 8:55 and is like, well, this is it.
Yeah.
Huh? Professor Layton was there?
Yeah, Professor Herschel Layton.
Sean Layton?
Layton.
Layton, not Layton. I don't know, whatever.
Solve this puzzle with me. Get off the stage! You're at the wrong one! Oh, I'm sorry.
So yeah, I guess I'm just a little disappointed. And both... And so yeah, to not be like, oh yeah, you just hate Sony. No, both of them, they really have nothing coming out first party this fall.
That being said, the stuff that Sony did show all looks really, really good.
Yeah, and I'll say, the rest of this, like, is there anything coming out next year from Microsoft that looks amazing? No.
Well, yeah, there's not that we know of, but Microsoft did make a point in saying, here's the stuff that we have coming out this year and early next year, as opposed to Sony, who knows when some of the stuff's coming out. Some of it didn't even have 2018 on it.
That's true. There was stuff that didn't have anything on it. And things that were, because 2018 is a very vague thing, and we've also seen Sony come out with this stuff, and, I mean, Last Guardian.
Yeah.
So, to think about that really quickly, what used to be Level 5 is Japan Studio, right?
No, there's still Level 5.
Are those two different
places? I think those are two separate things.
Okay. So, the Shadow of the Colossus stuff we saw was pretty polished.
Yeah,
nothing like what we saw from The Last Guardian. So I don't think that we'll see a repeat of that.
Well, and they already have that game made. Like, the design is already done for that game.
That's true.
So,
that's a good point.
Yeah, there's not a ton to do there. God of War looks like it's pretty well fleshed out, just based on the kind of the montage they did. That like him, they showed him in a boat, and they showed a bunch of different stuff. But you never know.
Happen all the time. Right.
Yeah.
You never know.
I still think I'm worried Days Gone did a major revamp. I really think that game. I think if you go back and watch the 2016 E3 trailer and then go back and watch this one, they're two completely different games. I mean, you're looking at like a third-person like action shooter versus a Last of Us type, and I don't think they're the same thing. We should watch it after we get done here.
I don't. I think let's watch it. I think because I feel like it's the same game.
I don't think it's even remotely.
I think it looks the same.
I'm more on Jason's side. I think that I think the action part was a set piece in the bigger stealth game.
I think the herd moved around the same way. I think he moved around the same way. It's just the way that they set it up. I think they showed you stealth elements that they didn't show last year, but I feel like it's probably
the camera was a lot tighter on the main character, that's for sure.
Which is normal if you're doing stealth.
Right, but I guess it's just an interesting question that we'll take a look at it and see. But anything else from Sony that we...
You mentioned indies. I think that with Sony being kind of the place that a lot of that has happened this generation, they probably felt kind of like an air of confidence with Sony that is good or bad, for lack of a better, because we always know the confident one seems to shit the bed, is what we know. So I think they felt like they don't. We continue to do this. We continue to be the first place where these indies go, and they probably felt like they don't need it because they're really established in that space. That's where some of the cool, unique experiences that happen on console that may happen concurrently on Steam or not, it seems to be the place where they start. And I think Xbox has some messaging to do there where Sony doesn't. Like, they have to reiterate, like, hey, we do. By the way, I know that we may not have as many games as they've done over here, but we're trying to fix this like we're trying to fix a lot of other things. And I think Sony's like, we're winning here, games.
Yeah.
Short press conference, games.
Right.
By the way, we're winning.
Like they really curated the games that they showed to be like, these are the games that are going to reflect well on social media. These are the games that are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the lineup of games that is going to get a positive.
Well, it's what
because if they would have shown Knack 2, it would have been, oh my god, I can't believe they're showing Knack 2.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, Knack 2 has become a joke. It really, I mean, it's Knack in general. There's a select group of games journalists that it's just kind of a small joke about, like, how Knack is just this awful game that people, really just don't want to have anything to do with, and they can't even believe it's being made.
So if you compare, like, Knack to Lucky's Tale, like, I'm trying to think of, like, things that are first party. Right. Like, everybody was kind of like, what's this? Mm-hmm. Why are they spending time on this? And maybe, like, they didn't waste time on Sony's stage.
Did that Crash Bandicoot thing ever come out?
Yeah, well, not yet, but it's the end of this month.
Okay, but so
it's soon.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just another one of those things they didn't highlight it at all, and
maybe they feel like they can't at this point. I don't know. That's in that weird window. Like, there's so much of it already out there. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's
I also didn't know it was coming out so soon. So bad on me, I guess.
Yeah, it was just there was just I don't know. It just everything felt rushed, and I felt like there wasn't really anything new.
There wasn't a bombshell.
There wasn't a bombshell.
The past 3-4 years, there's always been at least like one huge thing that came out of nowhere. No one expected it,
or 3 or 4 things that came out. Like, I mean, I would say last year. There was 3 or 4 things last year. I was like, these are mind-blowing things. Yeah. Sony's going nuts with this.
God of War last year.
last year. I thought the Spider-Man thing last year. And, like, they just...
Well, the year before that, they showed the Final Fantasy VII Remake, Shenmue 3, and The Last Guardian.
Oh, gosh, Shenmue 3 is not even out.
Yeah. which at that point, Last Guardian had been pretty much vaporware. So they showed all 3 of those that were just like one after another, bang, bang, bang.
So it just wasn't as big of a press conference this year, and yeah, I mean, it's fine. At the same time, everybody's always quick to say who won this or anything else. Nobody won anything this year.
Yeah.
Nintendo's still tomorrow, but I don't think they all were just kind of this year. Is kind of, I guess, my thought.
I wouldn't say meh. I'm excited about a lot of stuff.
There's a few things I'm excited about, but there's nothing that I'm like, I guess I'm just looking at years past of like things that I got real excited about, things that I can almost even like jumped out of my chair about, even if they turned out to not be very great. Nothing did that for me this year.
Okay.
I remember jumping out of my seat when they did the Master Chief Collection. That thing turned out to be hot garbage, but I was so excited for that thing when that thing came out. The Final Fantasy VII remake, because I've never played it. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to play this now because it's going to get redone.
Sometime before the end of this decade, man. They promised.
Yeah.
I thought both times they ever did a South Park game, I got real excited about those. Obviously, those have been the Fractured Butthole I don't think is ever going to come out, but that's just all I'm saying. I guess it's just this year has been kind of, for me, it's just been like, these games look all right. Like, there's a few things I'm like, yeah, that'll be fun to play, but nothing's. Actually, the only thing I think I got really excited about was Life is Strange. As weird as that sounds.
Okay.
And Ori and the with the Wisp.
Yeah, you did get really excited about that.
Yeah. Those are the only things I got real excited about. Otherwise, everything else I'm just kind of like, this is a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're in a pretty good place.
Yeah.
I'm more with Caleb. I think we're in pretty good shape industry wide.
Yeah.
Some good things, some bad things as far as the press conferences go, but overall, I think there's plenty of stuff to play that is of pretty high quality.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a good place to be in, rather than I've looked at 100+ games these past few days and I'm gonna play 2.
Right.
Like, we're not there, you know.
Yeah, there were some things to be excited. The last night, I think that's gonna be something cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
So don't get me wrong that I'm think everything was negative. I'm just saying there wasn't that one thing that like made me jump out of my seat this year. That's all.
Yeah, I'd have to think. I don't think I had that reaction either. I'm pretty positive, but I wasn't like, wow.
Beyond Good and Evil for me.
Yeah. So there was this thing you got really excited about.
Trailer was really cool.
That was a pretty cool trailer.
That was awesome. But that's a different.
Okay. So anyway, that was Sony.
Even though we just talked about Microsoft and Ubi and
I feel like we kind of wrapped up some things.
Yeah.
So like Sony is the last proper press conference, so we kind of should wrap up E3, I guess, and just of our thoughts.
Yep.
So that was E3. I highly doubt we're going to do anything for Nintendo unless they just go nuts. And I mean,
here I'll do Nintendo right now. You ready? I am super excited for Super Mario Odyssey 3. I will play Splatoon. That's it. That's all they're going to show.
Did you see Super Mario Odyssey 3?
Did I?
You did.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that.
It is Odyssey.
It's just Odyssey, right? It would have been Galaxy 3.
It is
Galaxy 3. That's probably what I was thinking.
I'm excited to see what New Donk City's all about.
New York City. Yeah.
Yep. All right. That was Sony. Let's go get some L's.